Good morning. Hold on, I have to allow this post. Morning, hi to viewers, how are you? Rehan had to run to the little Berta's room in McDonald's, so that's going to be a hot minute. So we're driving through New Jersey right now, headed to meet the Positive Thinking Club, which is in Teaneck, East Brunswick. Good morning. This is actually probably the first time I've been using live, which I think is kind of fantastic. It's a little bit better than Periscope. I do like the engagement a little bit better too. So, what do you, does anyone have any questions for us, here, or questions about America? That's what we're kind of talking about. Some of the differences in between here and there. Maybe how we can, sir, need idea what business should be good in 30 lakhs in Pakistan? I ask you to ask yourself this question. What is something, and this is to Usman Ghani, what is something that people really need over there, Usman? Like, what is a basic type of good that is somewhere above a consumable that's like a food, and somewhere between something complicated you'd have to build, that people want? You figure out something like that, that gives you a good idea of what product or service you should be offering. And then I think you have to iterate the idea from there. Good morning. Listen to Zahur Safi, start something in medicine. That actually could be a really good idea. So in the United States, we have these things called, since the advent of the ACA or Obamacare, we have these walk-in medical clinics, which are smaller clinics. They're not affiliated with any hospital, and they're staffed by, usually staffed by a doctor, or I don't know how it works over there, but you can have a physician's assistant who would serve as a primary doctor. Recycling, I think, is another good idea. But you could do something like that. I don't know if they have smaller walk-in clinics. That doesn't cost a ton of money. But then again, I'm not 100% sure of your audience. Welcome, Rehan, by back.
Hi.
We were just having McDonald's because we're on the New Jersey Turnpike and there's not a lot of culinary options here. You were in Korea. All right. Well, if you're in Korea and looking to start a small level import business, there's a, well, let's think. Import business from Pakistan or import business from the United States? Morning to the new people who joined. Let's wait for Usman to answer. How's your Egg McMuffin?
It's okay. I'm waiting for the new the Samsung phone.
Samsung S7? That just came out.
And it has a 360 thingy attachment. So I can just put it here and then the whole thing would be broadcast.
That's pretty cool, and then people can move around inside of the broadcast. Is that for VR as well?
I don't know.
That's an interesting thing. There's obviously the market leader in any new industry is unfortunately the pornography industry, and Pornhub last week announced that they are launching VR and augmented reality. So wow. you can pretty much, they've got new channels just dedicated to that, so you can pretty much assume if that's happening, we're probably going to see augmented reality or virtual reality television sometime inside of the next 2 to 3 years. Maybe 5 years. I mean, other industries tend to be like a little slow to catch up, but with internet-based industries, when they see all the money coming, they tend to chase it down between 18 to 36 months. How to run a school for underprivileged children in Balochistan.
Who's it?
This is Rahmatullah Rahmat. Rahmat, here's what I would suggest. If you guys can get internet connection or something to play DVDs, what I would suggest is there are a ton of educational courses that are available in Urdu, English, and even some of the northern Pakistani dialects that really are Afghani dialects, Pashto and the like. You could probably start leveraging those if you don't have teachers. And sorry, we're trying to grab coffees. You could probably start leveraging some of those if you don't have teachers. And if you're looking for teachers, I think building a base with something like that to start would be a low
400 students already.
Yeah,
This guy.
I would start with the digital, and then try and find the right teachers. You know, once you have something that's a good story, you can pull people from bigger cities, and they're more apt to come and help you.
Rahmat, you should add Ozibai and inbox him some of the videos of the school tour which you have. Show him the school which you have, and then ask for his ideas.
Yeah, if you're going to just add me, send me a message so I know who you are and we can have a conversation, because it's a little creepy just adding random people. But maybe it's just an American thing.
No, it's everywhere.
Oh. Can you suggest a good engineering project idea? This is Murtaza Farouk. Well, Murtaza, where are you based?
Tell more.
Start an inline business. What sort of online business would you recommend? Getting mentors for an online business. Let's see. I think the easiest way to look is start looking at something like Udemy and Twitter. One of the easiest ways to find people who could be your mentor is by reaching out to them and having conversations and being polite. Having manners, just talking to people normally, and presenting a point of view where you want to do something that's of interest to them is usually a great way to get a mentor's interest. Usman Ghani. For Pakistan, I want to start an import business. What kind of things do you want to import? Huge market over there. I mean, you could actually do something. You know what would actually probably not be bad for Pakistan? There's secondhand and recycled computers over here. So you could probably you can buy secondhand computers, I believe, by the ton. They may need some parts, but they're relatively cheap, and you can install the Chrome OS on them and configure it for Urdu, and buy some keyboard overlays in Urdu, slap them on there, and you've got a business selling low cost to you and low cost to them computing systems. The Egg McMuffin is Egg McMuffin-y. It's not bad. I mean, it's a good standby. Sidra Malik. I think it's a universal thing. I just think it's the randos, you know? It's like just adding someone and then like demanding that they be your friend. It's like, I don't know who you are.
Would you be my friend? Hi, Sidra.
Yeah, I've always had an issue with that.
Everybody has issues with that.
Well,
And on top of that, they have a butterfly photo.
oh yeah, then they have a
Information.
butterfly photo.
Who are they? Oh, I'm the CEO of Facebook.
I'm the CEO of Facebook. Oh, that's nice. What's the CEO of Facebook doing in Balochistan? Hold that for a sec.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, कैसे हैं आप लोग? रहमत, start doing what we are doing. आप बलूचिस्तान से बलोची में, पश्तो में लेक्चर्स रिकॉर्ड करके ब्रॉडकास्ट करना शुरू क्यों नहीं करते? आपको कौन रोक रहा है? आपको Rahmat has an offer to have 20 laptops, 10 laptops, as many teachers he has for me.
Mm-hmm.
All they have to do is make me friends first.
Yeah, well,
You have to learn English.
Hold on, don't move yet. I've got a coffee there, and I'm trying to get your directions back up. I don't want to burn myself. All right, hot coffee. And we're moving now. Help us.
By the way, Ozzy Bhai is looking for a wife. He's single. But he prefers a blonde wife.
I prefer someone tall who can speak English and is interesting, you know.
So anybody who knows, please refer.
Thanks. I know that needed to be mentioned, but
hey, there's a lot of audience out there. They know a lot of people. You never know.
True. Hi Dubai, how are you doing? Salams, Pakistan. Do you guys want to look at us or do you want to look at the road? Here, I'm gonna switch this around and Rehan and I'll keep talking. You can see the exciting land that is New Jersey. Alright.
They can now call Leica Mobile anywhere in the world from Zong in Pakistan for free.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. So welcome to the New Jersey Turnpike, headed south from New York City. So if you go and check Rehan's previous uploads, there's 2 videos where we're just kind of shooting us running around in Harlem. Yes, I've tried Tinder. Thank you. You know what I find? Okay, so just being honest here, like being a Muslim guy at Tinder is not really like the greatest thing on earth.
Somebody should go out there and make a Muslim Tinder.
No, there's a Muslim Tinder. I've met like 1 or 2 girls off of it, but they're always a little, I don't know, off. I mean, it's like, why can't you find someone who's just kind of cool and, you know, educated, smart, funny? I don't know. It's the conundrum of life, right? You know, when you're looking for it.
Tell them what kind of woman do you find?
Oh my God, I don't even know if I should. I don't know, tall, cosmopolitan, smart. Someone who wants.
You don't want like a good housewife,
someone,
Pakistani style.
I mean, I need someone who can basically help me, you know, with my aims of kind of helping redevelop Harlem and kind of building a stronger base for cross-cultural and interfaith understanding. Do you have any? You're gonna have to. Do you have any cash?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, there's tolls in this road. I didn't stop in an ATM. Yeah, you're gonna have to go to the cash only.
There's some coins there.
I wish I would have thought about this. I thought you had change. Oh, this will be interesting.
Do you have a cash thing?
Go to the cash only, yeah. There's 2 cash only ones.
I see a coin on. Where's the cash on?
Exact change. Cash receipts. Go to cash receipts. No, cash receipts you can pay in cash.
Where's the dollar?
The problem of not carrying cash when you hop onto the turnpike.
We do have one.
Okay, I think we've solved this. Oh, good. He has actual bills. Pashto, that would be awesome. Hey, what's up? Oh my God, gee, what's going on, dude?
What?
It's my buddy Gagan, who I haven't seen in like forever. He used to DJ weddings in Pennsylvania.
Did you put the video on your wall?
Yeah, I put the video on my wall. He's probably like, why are you with this guy from Pakistan live streaming in New Jersey? Because that's how the internet works. It's not how much you pay for miles. It's well, it kind of is, but it's based upon like the number of axles you have and how big your car is, generally. So this toll was just like $1.50, which wasn't bad. But there's some tolls in New Jersey that'll hit you.
No, across the Holland Tunnel,
Across the Holland Tunnel, it's like $11.
15.
It's 15 now.
Yeah.
Keeps going up. Yeah. So I always said that New York was like a club. It had a cover charge. The Holland Tunnel's $15 to get into the city.
All the bridges are 10, 15.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the reason Rehan's throwing out the whole wife thing is because, one, at some point I'd like to get married and have a family. Two, I mean, I work a lot on interfaith stuff, and I'm like literally trying to figure out how do we get people to stop hating Muslims and to start understanding that there needs to be more cross-cultural dialogue. Like, you know, you can't just sit there and say, I know they're bad because they're bad, you know? People forget that the same way we're viewing Muslims now is the same way we viewed Catholics in the 1920s. They used to have cartoons of popes and bishops looking like crocodiles trying to eat little children. So that same type of rhetoric has now moved 100 years forward. Instead of Catholics, it's Muslims. And what I'm trying to, I guess what a lot of folks overseas have to understand is America is like a fraternity. You have to get pledged in, and once you're pledged in, we have you for life. We love you for life. But I think the problem is that because Muslims are such a wide tapestry of people and such a diverse diaspora, that it's a little difficult to say what is a Muslim, right? So a Pakistani Muslim from Karachi is going to be a little different from a Pakistani Muslim from NWFP.
Which is now called KPK.
Huh?
Which is now being called KPK.
Oh, sorry, which is now being called KPK. And it's going to be different from an Indian Muslim who's from, you know, say Sindh versus an Indian Muslim who's from Hyderabad versus an Indian Muslim who lives in Ghana, right? So this is just like talking about Indo-Pacs to begin with. And I just think that, you know, if we can broach these conversations, we can start this dialogue, and we can get people to look at the facts, they're going to see that there's less to hate, more to love.
Put your face on it. That's a really good conversation. Part of the weekly show on the Institute of Peace Value. That's really good stuff.
Well, I mean, if there's a place for me to do a weekly show, I'm happy to.
I mean, on your phone?
No, you know what? I wouldn't mind going to Norway. They're I don't know. I love Northern Europeans. They're culturally a little different. They have, I hate to say this, but they have at certain points they can have a little bit of a communist mentality. Moon, we are going to the Positive Thinkers Club in central New Jersey. Yeah, no, I mean, if you want, I could just pop on and like do a live broadcast in your thing. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll create my own fan page, and then I'll pop something up. Yeah, but no, I mean, the discussion we're kind of having is Catholics in the 1920s were vilified and demonized by Protestants, who really were the backbone of what built this country. And if you look back to the 1800s in the United States, the rhetoric that you had inside of different Protestant communities was very much like the problem that we have with, you know, ultra-radical Muslim pastors or imams inside of Muslim countries. So things take time. Hi Moon, wie geht's? Ich kann auch gut Deutsch, aber mein Urdu ist wahrscheinlich merkwürdig. But the challenge, I think, of today is more how do we get people to get over these boundaries, and the only way it's going to happen is through conversation and getting to know people. 9 times out of 10, you know, Rehan had gone to a Trump rally just to interview some people, right? And so when he was talking to people, like, there was this one guy and he's like, I just know they're bad, they're really bad over there. And you know, that's not speaking from experience, that's speaking from a perspective of bias. And if we're going to move forward as
this is not a normal person.
Well,
this is a person who ran for governor.
This wasn't a normal person, this was someone who ran for governor. So to consider that there are people who are running in the seat of politics that don't necessarily understand the larger things that are at play, it's a little difficult. And I mean, listen, you know, we had the same problems in this country with Vietnamese populations after the Vietnam War. We had the same problem with Korean populations after the Korean War. We are now having, as you see, the same problems with Muslims after what? Several Muslim wars. So our challenge, I think, is multifaceted. How do we really broach the conversation with the West? And it's not necessarily a conversation about logic, because you have to remember something. More people operate in emotion than they do on logic. So what you have to do is you have to appeal to their common sense. And appealing to their common sense is bringing up things like there are more mentions of Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, in the Quran than there are in the Injil, the Bible. There are, that's Nida. I don't have to take that. 1 second. Hey, I can't talk right now. I'm live streaming. Go to Facebook. Here you go. You know, it's starting with conversations like that. It's starting by getting people to understand that Muslims are human too, that Muslims have families, that Muslims are pious, that the belief in God is tantamount, and it's more about a different way of approaching things than it is about a difference of perspectives. At the end of the day, if you read the Torah and you read the Bible and you read the Quran, you'll find that academics even talk about this. There's a Judeo-Christian Islamic worldview, and that worldview is relatively uniform. The challenge that we have really dates back to the Elizabethan period, where largely the problem was that, you know, they were seen as Moors and Vandals and Saracens more than anything else. So it took several hundred years for Muslims to be understood, and for the West to really understand that there was another monotheistic religion that was God-deigned out there. So as we look forward to the 21st century, I think what we should be doing is saying this of each and every one of ourselves. How can I make myself an ambassador for my religion? How can I go and leverage that Rehan challenge, this guy over here, how can I leverage that Rehan challenge of finding 500 friends to get a laptop, but over the course of that, how can I elucidate them or educate them to the fact that I'm just a person here practicing my religion and we're not full of hate? And at the same point in time, how do you look at your own personal perspectives and say, hey, we're all kind of more of the same than we are different at the end of the day. Where am I originally from? I'm originally from Pittsburgh. My dad is, or was, he's passed away. So dad's side of the family was, this is also a tale of why Muslims are kind of all over the place. Dad's side of the family was Saudi Arabian. We have a shidra that goes back to 650 AD. My grandfather immigrated, so my grandfather had my dad in Saudi and I think one of his sisters, and then they immigrated to what then was part of the British Empire in between India and Pakistan, or in between India and Persia. Settled there for a bit, had like 5 more brothers and sisters, and then they got partitioned. So my dad ended up in what is near kind of Karachi, because the way that I understand the story is they broke the rail lines, and so he had to smuggle the family through 7 miles worth of demilitarized zone and put them up in a warehouse, and yeah, it's a golf course. Put them up in the warehouse while people were pulling people's pants down and cutting their throats, because if you're circumcised, you're Muslim. So, you know, tough times dealt by the British drawing a line in between communities over a lunch. That led to about 1 million people dying in between Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs. So my father had reached out to my granduncle, who was friends with the Viceroy of Persia, and had actually become the first minister of railways in Pakistan, and basically helped get the family resettled. Dad went to England, got a master's in engineering. Sorry, I'm trying